Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and today we're reacting to Ren. And he just dropped Money Game Part 3, which is 9 minutes and 19 seconds long. I cannot express to you how unbelievably excited I am for this reaction, and I hope you are as well. And if you end up enjoying the reaction, hit that subscribe button, it helps me out a lot. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this. Rumbling. Oh my god. We have the arpeggios. Oh, it's beautiful. Oof. Oh, look at this videography too. Is that the hook? If that's the hook, I'm already sold on this song. I have so many things. We're only 53 seconds into it. I'm gonna apologize right now. I'm gonna probably pause throughout this reaction. There's so much I want to comment on already. Even in the intro second, you could just hear his fingers resting on the keys. I love that effect. It feels so intimate. I just love that little moment. And then the videography already is really clean. I mean, this is a beautiful video. I like the cinematography here. And he's just channeling his inner Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin, Vivaldi, like any pianist you can probably think of. I mean, I don't know about you, but Ren is among them. He's that good. He's so talented. This is really good so far. Oh my god, Ren, what are you doing? Noose around his neck. Oh. Ooh. And you can hear like the footsteps and the echo in the scene. This is like a movie. He looks dapper. I love his voice. I love the melody he chooses. I am gonna listen back. He just looks so good, doesn't he? You can see the piano in the distance in the mirror. I love these notes. It's like jazzy. The breath.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he developed.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm having chills all over. I feel so much of even the story in my own life. And the piano in the back is so epic. It's this grand piano that it's just chugging along in a way that helps his narration soar over the top of it. Again, Ren has such a captivating voice. It feels like he's effortlessly, acting, but effortlessly performing, effortlessly doing all that he's doing right now, telling this very captivating story over the top of the piano. Oh my god, I need to keep listening. This is so good.
Ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him,
Is this based on a true story about some Jimmy that we don't know, or we all know, or that Ren knows himself? And I don't even think that Jimmy as a person has to exist in the real world. For this music and art to shine through. I'm just curious. Also, I do have a friend named Jimmy. If you're watching this video, Jimmy, shout out to you. Maybe this is your story.
sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18 and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury.
You know, I have so many things to say, and it's like I don't know which thing to focus on. And that's the beauty of Ren's music is, you know, he'll captivate you by his performance, by his lyrics, by the piano that's playing in the back, by the story itself. And I don't even know which of those, I only mentioned 4 threads, I should pick, because guess what? There's more than that. We also have the music video to confuse us and captivate us, right? We have the people in the background, the kid in the background, and going through each and every single one of these ages. Anyways, I wanted to talk specifically a little bit about the story, because it seems like Ren keeps dropping these little nuggets about how his father, the father of this kid named Jimmy, is raising the kid, and what messages and what lessons Jimmy's being taught. Some of these lessons are all about narcissism, are all about putting yourself first, believing that the world is cruel, believing that you are the only person that matters and everybody else is out to get you, so therefore make yourself the absolute best. And in one way, it's a good mentality, because you should be protective of yourself and you should make yourself very great. But I mean, if I can do any level of prediction right now, when people start out this way, start out super narcissistic, super self-reliant, and they only really care and look out for themselves, they hurt the others around them in the world, and they end up hurting themselves in the very end. So yeah, Ren has so many things going on already in this song that I'm going to have trouble pointing every little thing out, and I'm sure you guys are picking up on things that I'm not picking up. So leave it in the comments what things you notice, because this is, I love this art. It's beautiful.
18 and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income.
And is this all in one shot, by the way? The roaming camera? Ugh.
Rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business.
I need to compliment him again. Listen to his voice, right? it's not just him speaking and narrating in like a kind of monotonic fashion. I tend to do that sometimes. I have made an effort to make my voice more dynamic and change my dynamic range, the volume that I use, the voices that I use, the accents that I employ. Ren just does it so effortlessly, and that's why even High Ren was such a banger of a song and such beautiful art, because he played those characters so seamlessly and so accurately, honestly. So not only is he a pianist, a composer, a lyricist, a musician, a performer, he's an actor. Like, it's unreal, unfair, truly unfair, Ren. Come on.
Listen here, son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26 a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27 dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28 inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place.
Wow, so even with all of this hyper success, he's going into arms dealing. I mean, you see that in like the Mission Impossible movies, right? This is like the top echelon of society. The father is still criticizing Jimmy, right? So you can see how a person is being molded and spiraling up into this crazy world that he's existing in and still being told no. And oftentimes this is how children go from being developed, and we're all, let's say, like a level playing field, for example, and the constant nurturing in one direction completely skews their life path in a way that is almost irrecoverable. And you have these super deranged scenarios that Ren is seeming to narrate to us. So yeah, the fact that the dad is still critiquing the kid in this moment means that we're gonna end up in a crazy place, I'm sure.
He won a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32 moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
How are we slowing down? How many components of this song am I missing? Because there's so much going on. The slowing down is impressive. Also, I just realized I think we've only heard piano in terms of musical instrument, Ren's voice in terms of musical instrument, and then the ambiance, the noises that are happening as he's walking, as he's interacting with the environment, this telephone call here. How is this song so captivating? I mean, whoever's producing the mix here is doing a really phenomenal job, but to create a song with just narration, with just piano, I would think most artists would make that hella boring. Yeah, again, just let's praise Ren. Let's just keep praising him.
Of his pocket. "35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried."
It's interesting because, let's say, and I don't want to go too into the psychoanalysis because I don't think I'll do it justice, but oftentimes in these scenarios, from what I've seen, you'll have the father who is this instigator in the child's life. So Jimmy has been forged into the man that he is, and the father passes away. Jimmy's lost without his father. Even if his father was pushing him in directions that were harsh and not really one that the average person really should be fulfilled from, right? But he's hyper vigilant. He's very industrious. He's achieved a lot of success early on because of his father, and now he's lost his father. He's kind of fallen into this land of decay. He's now drinking himself to death, right? Hanging with prostitutes, wasting his time, making poor decisions in his business, because even though his father was maybe toxic, he doesn't have that guidance anymore. It's so interesting it's so interesting. I really wonder where this story is going to go, and if he comes around in the end and realizes at the end what all went down. His father was a good influence or bad, and it's always a bit of both. I hate it. I absolutely hate it when people say they're, let's say in this situation, the father was absolutely bad. In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. There's good and bad. Things are more gray than people care to admit. Let's keep going.
That these words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Will he finally have time to pause in his life because of this? Because he's been going for 40 plus years straight. Four-piece orchestra. Wow, he's cueing them.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city.
The strings, ugh.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble and perspective evolves, weighing heavy on his conscience.
Riches turn to wait, what is the line?
Riches turn to rubble and perspective evolves.
Ugh, riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. I just reacted to another song that spoke about how having so much wealth, having so much monetary success, material success, it doesn't actually make you fulfilled. And once you realize that, once your perspective changes, all of this stuff that's ephemeral, that's fleeting, that's, let's say, hedonistic for dopaminergic pleasure, it just fleets, it just goes away at the end of the day. And you realize, why was I so self-centered? Why did I focus on all of these things that were fleeting? Because now I don't have any life. I didn't have a family to nest with. I just did everything for my pleasure, and now I'm alone. I'm broken. I can't even walk. Nobody's there to care for me. Your father, who is the only person in your life, is now gone. And now you're left by yourself with your own thoughts and your regrets. Yeah, there's a lot in this.
Around the pavement.
And I'm just getting chills from these cellos. I just love orchestra, violins, cellos. Whenever they're used, they're so emotional. That's why I like one of those. I like the Apocalyptica band. They do a lot of cello work in their music. Anyways.
Of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble and perspective evolves, weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls.
No.
Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me, and it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music.
God, he's so right. And I love that he states this stuff so explicitly to the audience. He did this in Higher End a couple times. He's doing it here. It's not just Jimmy, right? Jimmy. That's why I said at the beginning of this reaction, it doesn't matter if the story is true or not. It really doesn't, because this concept of greed, of self-centeredness, of being just focused on yourself and your own benefit, it's actually destructive. It's actually parasitic, not only to yourself, but everyone around you. And a lot of us in our own ways are very narcissistic, selfish, and we want what's best for us and no one else. That's what he's pointing out. We all have aspects of Jimmy within ourselves, worthwhile to at least acknowledge and then hopefully correct in the long term. We deserve people who are more selfless in this world.
The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money.
I need to hear that again. I like that he's going into the slam poetry style, though. Just switching it up.
The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed.
There's so many things I could break down there, but I want to focus on the last one. Truth is less important than the money we designed. We basically constructed this fake God in money, and we are willing to forego literal truth for this fake idol, for this fake God. And because we've propped up this fake God, we now have no standing. We have no more. It's the quote: if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You've created this false idol, and now everything, all your morals, all your values can now be bought by that very thing. And I say buy because it's literally equated to money, but it doesn't matter. If you set any bad value as your main tenant, this is a path to hell that you'll end up going on.
Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
The solution, right? What is the solution? It's got a gun. He kind of looks like Hitman, doesn't he? I was going to mention that earlier.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me,
Yep.
then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface, then consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
So much to unpack. I have this running theory in my head that, I mean, it's hard because we have this. There's a. God, I'm so discombobulated right now. So forgive me. I'll do my best here. There's this idea in philosophy about solipsism, about the fact that the life that we live and the consciousness that we have is our own. And the moment that you realize that everybody else is actually experiencing their own life as well, is when we can start to realize that we actually have effects on others, and actually coming together and being a community and not parasitizing each other, not cannibalizing one another, not taking everything for ourselves, but giving to others, is a way that we can actually improve our collective consciousness, our collective well-being. And so often, in so many of these situations that Ren is describing, we are at odds with one another because we view ourselves as the center of the universe, as our own, for our own self and our own posterity. It's not true. We are here for everyone else around us, right? Because we are propagating the future of our species. We are here to propagate the future of everybody, not only ourselves. And I don't know, we should be better to each other. We should be kinder to each other. And I don't want to preach Ren's doing it for us. I think, I don't know. I think it's just important to keep those things in mind. Let's be less selfish.
And without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. At the end there, he's like talking about it. It's interesting because it's like part of the double entendre that's playing throughout the story of his life with like arms dealing, and then he has the gun and the 45 caliber he's using at the age of 45 to kill himself, suicide himself. Sorry, YouTube. The money game, right? His whole life was a money game. He never actually lived his life. His whole life was built for money, built for greed, built for his own success, not for the uh, service of others. And then in the end, what did he do? He just killed himself because he had it all, or so he thought, but he really had nothing, right? Those riches turned to rubble. It's a story as old as time. People become too they become like megalomaniacs, they become too greedy, they seek power, they seek money endlessly to its own end. And time again that story is told of they sought that power, they achieved that power, they got everything that they thought they wanted, and it still wasn't enough, right? How many times have you heard about it's the journey, not the destination? There's so much truth in that. And when people are focused on these random random numbers, for example, they're really random, they don't matter, you forego so much of the possible fulfillment you have in your life. And that's not to say that everybody derives fulfillment in the same exact way. People can derive more fulfillment from earning more money. Some people can derive more fulfillment from the service of others. I believe in that spectrum. But if you go to this super mega extreme, you see what happens with Jimmy. And what I like that Ren is doing is pointing out the fact that we all have those pieces of Jimmy's mentality in our own minds as well. And I'm glad that he's able to highlight that so cleanly in a song like this. He's done it in a way that, again, through Ren's art, it's so captivating and it's enriching, and it feels like he hits the nail right on the fucking head every time. I think that's why Ren is one of those artists that will be remembered for generations to come, because he speaks the truth and it's universally true. It's clever. It's very catchy, honestly. Again, let's comment on some of the musicality of this piece, because Ren only had the piano for the first half of the song. Many of the sections of the song were just blank with just his voice and him doing either speech or just slam poetry. And then you have the string quartet playing in the back for some pieces towards the end of Jimmy's story. So you have so many moving parts, and yet there's not many things happening at all. But it feels so enriching. That's the beauty of what Ren is as a person, as an artist. He gives you pure, concentrated, and I don't know why this is coming to mind, but he's giving you pure, concentrated sugar, like high fructose corn syrup. You used to have this granulated form of sugar that, let's say, to get the same glucose spike in your blood sugar, you'd have to take a couple of grams, but he's giving you high fructose corn syrup, where every little speck of sugar he's able to give you, or high fructose corn syrup he's able to give you, it is the uranium version of sugar. So he gives you a speech. That speech is the most riveting speech you've ever heard. It's filled with bars. It's filled with cadences, with rhythms, with beautiful word choices, with profound messages, just in the speech, right? It's uranium. He gives you the piano piece he's playing at the beginning. He's playing like arpeggios. He's playing really fast paced. He's also doing staccato bits. He's also playing in this almost like, how do I describe it? Like jazz style towards one part of the song. He's playing just simple chords. He's able to give you so much with so little, but he's also doing a lot, and he's giving you a lot. So I don't know. I just feel like Ren has this uncanny ability to maximize every piece of his music, every piece of his performance, every piece of his acting, his lyrics. Whatever this rag is of music that artists have, whatever their content is, whatever they produce in terms of art, Ren squeezes that rag out for all of its juices. Whatever the fruit that we're harvesting in terms of music and performance and art, Ren is the best harvester of that. He does it so efficiently. His yield is insane. And I'm just going into random diatribes at this point, so if you're not sticking with me until the end of this reaction, I understand. This is the way my mind works sometimes. But I had so many positive things to say. I love the song. I want to listen back to the story again just to make sure I heard everything. And I want to specifically, next time I listen to this, I guess on my own now, listen for more of the piano, listen for more of the string quartet, because so much is happening at once. It's a bit overwhelming. And I don't know, that's the charm of Ren's music as well, is there's so much replayability. Yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care and peace.